We continue now at the top of Daf Chof Beis Amid Beis Mesechet Nedarim. This is Nedarim Daf 22b. And the previous Amar of Yochanan expressed surprise that there could be a murder in Eretz Yisrael to Ula. And Ula responds, Lo Avrinan Yarden. At that point in time, we hadn't yet crossed the Yarden, so we weren't really in the Tchum of Eretz Yisrael, and that's why that could have happened. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabba Bar Rav Huna says, Kol HaKoes, anyone who gets angry, Afilu Shechina Eina Chashuva Kenegdo. Even the Shechina, he doesn't consider it opposite him. Shenamar, like the pasuk says, Rasha Kagova Apo, the Rasha with his anger, Bal Yidro Sheino Lokim Kol Mizimosav. So God is not in any of his thoughts. And the Gemara continues, Reb Yirmiyah Difti Yamar, Reb Yirmiyah from Difti says, Mishakeach Talmudu Mosef Tifsha, such a person who is angry, he forgets his learning and he adds foolishness. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, Kikas, B'chei Ksilim Yanuach, because there's anger in the bosom of the fools, meaning again he becomes foolish. Uchsiv, and the pasuk says, Uchsil Yifros Iveles, and the fool unfolds folly. And the Gemara continues, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Amar, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Biyadua, someone who's angry, it is known, Shavonosa Merubin Mizchu Yosef, that his sins outnumber his merits, Shenamar, like the pasuk says, Ubal Chemer Apesha, the person with anger, he has much an abundance of sin. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Ada Rabbi Chanina, El Malei Chatu Yisrael, Rav Ada Rabbi Chanina says, if not for the fact that the Jewish people sinned, Lo Nitan Lahem El Chamisha Chumshei Torah v'Sefer Yoshua Bilvad, they would have only received the Chamisha Chumshei Torah and Sefer Yoshua. It was only their sins that caused them to get the rest of the Tanakh. She'erko Shel Eretz Yisrael, who Sefer Yoshua is important because it gives you the arrangement, the borders of Eretz Yisrael. My time, what's the reason? Kibarov Chachma Rav Kas, because with an abundance of wisdom comes from an abundance of anger. And what that means to say is that because of the fact that Klal Yisrael angered HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so he sent the Nevi'im to admonish them, and that's why we had the Rov Chachma, that's why we had the other Svarim of the Tanakh. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabasi says, Ein nizkakin le'elokei Yisrael, chutz mikonim ishti nenes li shegonva eskisi v'shehikso es beni. We do not need to engage somebody who took an oath by the God of Israel. We don't need to undo that neder, or some people say undo that shvua, except for a situation where a person said a konim on my wife. He said a konim on his wife that she shouldn't get benefit from me because she stole my wallet or because she hit my son. V'noda shelo gonva, but then if we find out that she did not steal anything, v'shelo ikaso, she did not hit him at all. So in such a situation where the neder was made based on a false premise, so even if it was made Beilokei Yisrael, we will engage with her and we will undo the neder or the shvua, but otherwise we will not. And the Gemara continues along the same lines. Hahida asoy lekame de Ravasi. There was a woman who came before Ravasi. Amar lo, he said to her, "B'may nadart? How did you make the neder? What term did you use?" And she said, "Beilokei Yisrael." She said, "I did it by the God of Israel." Amar lo, he said to her, "Nadart b'mohi." If you would have used the term mohi, sheikinoi bi'alma, which is just a substitute term, mizdakiknalach. So then I would have engaged with you in this, and I would have undone the neder. Hashta de lo nadart b'mohi. But now that you did not make the neder b'mohi, ela beilokei Yisrael, rather you use the God of Israel, lo mizdakikna lach, therefore I'm not going to undo the neder on your behalf. And the Gemara continues, Rav Kahana iklo levei Rav Yosef. Rav Kahana went to the house of Rav Yosef. Amar lei lito marmidi. So Rav Yosef said to him, have a bite to eat. Amar lei said to him, lo mori kula lo to'imno lei. By the master of all, I will not taste anything. Amar lei, so he said back to him, lo mori kula lo to'imto lei. By the master of all, you won't eat anything. And the Gemara says, hanichol Rav Kahana damar lo mori kula. Makes sense that Rav Kahana said, by the master of all, I won't eat. He's refusing to eat. Ela Rav Yosef, I may amar lo mori kula. But what was Rav Yosef responding when he said the exact same thing back? And the Gemara explains, here's what he was saying to him. Lo mari kula hu amrit. Since you made an oath and you said mari kula, you said it by the master of all, you said it by God, hilkach, therefore lo to implay, therefore you won't be able to eat anything, because such a neder cannot be undone. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Nachman. Rava says that Rav Nachman says, hilchasad Allah is, poschen becharata, we do open with regret in order to undo the neder for a person. V'nizkakin lelokei Yisrael, we do engage with a person, even if he made the oath to the God of Israel, we will again attend to the neder and undo the neder. And the Gemara continues, Mishtabach le Rava Rav Nachman b'Rav Sechora the Adam Gadolhu. Rava was saying to Rav Nachman that Rav Sechora is a great person. Amar lo, so he said to him, Kashiyavo liyadcha v'yo liyadi. When he comes to you, bring him to me, I want to meet him. Havale nidra lemishra. So Rav Sechora had a neder that he wanted to undo. Also lekami de Rav Nachman, so he came before Rav Nachman. Amar le, and Rav Nachman said to him, Nadarta adaita dehachi. When you made the neder, were you thinking such and such? Amar le, and he said yes. Adaita dehachi. What about the following thought? In yes. So Kama Zimnin, this went on for many times, and every single time Rav Sechora gave him no opening to undo this neder. So Igbid Rav Nachman, so Rav Nachman got angry. And the Gemara continues, Amar Le, he said to him, Zil lekilach, go to your house, go home. Rav Nachman did not find a way to undo Rav Sechora's neder. So Nafak Rav Sechora, so Rav Sechora left, Upasach Pischol Nafshe, but then he found the Pesach himself to undo the neder. Because it says, Rebbe says, Ezui derech yisharish yavar lo adam, what's the straight path that a person should choose, called Shitiferes lo osev, Tiferes lo min adam. It's the path that brings glory to the person and brings glory from other people. A person should choose a good path for himself. V'hashta de'ikbid Rav Nachman, but now that Rav Nachman got angry at me, says Rav Sechora, Adai tadachi lo nadri, I didn't make the neder thinking that, B'shar nafshin, he was able to use that reasoning in order to undo the neder himself. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Shimon Berevi Havale Nidra Lemishra. Rabbi Shimon Berevi had a neder that he wanted to undo. Also, the Kamayah the Rabbanan, he came before the Rabbanan. Amrile, they said to him, Nadar Tadaita Dahachi, did you make the neder thinking this? Amar In, he said yes. Adaita Dahachi, what about this? In, yes. Kama Zimnin, again, this went on many times. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Gimel Amud Aleph.